What's going on, everybody? It's Jay, aka it's Ghost Story, back with another Phantom Parade reaction video. And this is going to be the second reaction video on the channel. The last time I did one, it was on X Ninja's Global versus JP sync video. Back then, however, I was able to ask X Ninja if I was allowed to react to his video. I'm going to be reacting to this video by JOSHIN, the Why I Hate the New Nanami, and I don't really have any direct way to communicate with this creator, for example. I knew X Ninja through Charizard from what I saw in his server. So I have no way to actually reach out to this guy and ask like, hey, are you cool if I make a reaction video to this? If he isn't cool with it, I don't really have a problem taking it down as long as it has like a certain credence as to why I should. But I clicked on this video because it was recommended me on my feed when it released, and I've also had a subscriber in my Discord show me the thumbnail of the video, and I thought it was an interesting premise, and I could only imagine what the arguments were. Now, mind you, I've already seen part of the video, which is why I am making a reaction video. I saw the first 2 minutes, and I was just a little bit flabbergasted at some of the points at the beginning, so I'm like, well, let's do like a full-scale rundown. If you're new to the channel, all of my arguments are not going to be founded in the early game or mid game. So when I mean that, I'm at floor 90 of Illusory Tower, which is the pinnacle, the most difficult content in the game, without a shadow of a doubt. So when I'm talking about content, if you are here and below, I'm not talking about you. I'm sorry. Okay? But I feel like some of the takes in the video doesn't really correspond to late game Phantom Parade all too well. It doesn't translate too well. So I'll watch this video with y'all. I'm going to pause in between to give my takes. If there's some parts of the video that I just simply don't care about responding to, I'll just skip over. But yeah, let's kind of just see what the argumentative focus is overall.
Why I hate
that is loud.
Nanami. I feel like I'm starting to get a reputation as someone who is very negative in regards to Phantom Parade overall. And the more content comes out for the
We're just gonna skip ahead.
Doing this with this new Nanami coming out, I am beginning to feel more and more negative about this game, and I feel really do.
I just realized that his intro is basically just a description. I didn't even peep that.
Like this new green Nanami, this new wave of units, especially on JP, because you know they're a couple units ahead, kind of highlights this ongoing and foreboding pattern of units coming out that just kind of 100% replace previous units of the same character. Even though I just pulled them off my first multi, I felt the same way about Point 2 Domain Gojo, just completely replacing blue, blue, red Gojo. You know what I mean? The blue Gojo that shoots red. I felt the same.
What? Okay. What? So, hold on. Let me... the first point is sort of an odd one. So when he phrases that the new blue Gojo is replacing red Gojo, I feel like it's only in the matters of the fact of their shared ultimate style, which is the infinite void status or unlimited void status. Now, I would say this would be a fair and applicable argument to a certain extent. But here's the thing. They're two separate color categories, which then plays into the fact that in the hardest content in the game in the first place, you can't use non-mono units. Formation restriction. You can only use the selected color units in the first place. In the modern meta of Phantom Parade, one unit being a copy of another unit but in a different color is actually more beneficial than it is negative overall, because the game is leaning towards a mono meta. So that first point has nothing to do with Nanami, but when I heard that for the first time, I was so confused because you would think it's like, okay, it makes OG blue Gojo irrelevant because they're both blue, but he compares two separate color category units into one category because they share a similaristic kit in terms of value. Where 0.2 Gojo has value in floors like 85 and 89 due to it being blue, and on top of that, blue taijutsu. 86 is a red stage. You can't just throw blue Gojo in the mix because you quite literally can't throw any blue characters into the mix. So half Annie Gojo still has his merit and his value. And on top of that, half Annie Gojo is also very irrelevant in difficult content like sweep. 0.2 Gojo is for his blue sweep and can be used for other sweep. So I don't even think that he was replaced in that factor because half anniversary Gojo wasn't even good in sweep in the first place unless it was normal sweep. So I don't think that argument stands on any credence, but we'll just continue.
Way, I didn't like the fact that we got another Gojo who just flat out replaces another Gojo, and the exact same thing is happening here. This green Nanami is replacing the previous SP green Nanami. Out of all,
and I don't, you know, I'm just gonna let his argument, you know, we're gonna hear it out.
Besides maybe yellow, or any other category would have been better. I think blue would have been best.
No, okay. So I brought this up in my video on green Nanami in the first place that I made for the Phantom Parade news video. If I can even find it, you know, it's Dementia Story. Okay, there it is, right? When I made that video, right, I said this was amazing for Nanami to be green because not only is it an extra unit for Toto to collaborate with, which is an amazing thing, and he's also a mixed attacker, so it assists, because the main big head dog of green Jujutsu has been Honored One Gojo, and nobody else. Green Megami and Choso also stand, but a lot of people have been using those units in different roles. I mean, people like Dio, for example, uses Green Megami for more unique clears. For my videos, I always use Choso as a sub DPS. I never choose him as my main DPS. But yeah, like the main DPS people always strive for Green Jujutsu is Honored One Gojo. So Green Nanami being replaced with another green Nanami that's actually good and is a standard unit is amazing because, like I said in this video right here, we haven't had a standard green unit as I'm recording this video in 7 months, which was Choso. And before Choso, it was 7 more months because it was Miwa and Muda. And so now when these updated paid banners come out for the paid players that play the game, their green standard pool, they won't have to choose in the selectors for Choso, Muda, and Miwa, which is an abysmal selection. Green Nanami will then be a part of that bundle, which I feel like is amazing for paid players and also really good for standard players as well if they feel like doing some low spending. You know, a little bit of low spending.
Better suited if you had to make a new Nanami, blue would have made more sense because blue Nanami is...
No. So I already know what he's going to say. He's going to say blue Nanami isn't good, or the worst Nanami.
Out of the 5 in the game.
Okay. And spin back to Tower. Floor 85. Blue stage. Floor 89. Blue stage. Right? Now let's go back to my channel. Floor 85. One of, again, the upper echelons of difficult content. Blue Nanami was my backup DPS. He played a part in that team. On my initial floor 89 clear, he was my backup DPS. Now, this is not me saying that blue... Wait, did I say Inumaki? Anyways. But blue Nanami has a place. He's not the greatest. If I could replace him with any other Nanami, that would be very nice. But blue does not need another unit in the same vein as this current green Nanami at the moment. We just got 0.2. We have blue Yuta. Everybody is waiting for a mono blue stat buffer. And I feel like there's a time and a place for these things. And I feel like we've had way too many Nanamis in the game where his damage is either super duper lackluster even upon release, or he's a support unit. Red Nanami, support unit. Right? SR Nanami, support unit. Blue Nanami, lackluster DPS unit. Green Nanami, lackluster DPS unit. Yellow Nanami, in my personal opinion, lackluster DPS unit, because every single clear video you see with this guy back in the day for like floor 73, you want to know who he was collaborated with? The real GOAT of yellow free-to-play taijutsu, my boy Mekamaru. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, Mekamaru can be used for those higher difficult floors. Like, Mekamaru can main DPS clear 84. I have yet to see anybody try to main DPS clear 84 with this guy. You know what I'm saying? So, I think he's okay with green. Like, he's okay in green, especially for the standard pool updates. And just because the other blue doesn't need it. Blue doesn't, but blue needs a blue stat buffer, and Nanami units need an actual unit that can do some damage and actual mainstay content, not some filler.
Game, not counting this one, and red, technically speaking, doesn't have an SSR like adult Nanami. So
okay, now this is weird because then it backtracks on the previous argument. The previous argument being that you don't like that another unit is being replaced by their own self in the same color category. And that would also be terrible because then we would have to fight between having a DPS Nanami versus one of the best supports in the entire game, which also happens to be a Nanami. So I think it's more fair to be like, okay, abysmal unit that almost nobody uses, let's replace this one over, you know, top 3, top 5 supports in the entire game. You know what I'm saying? Let's just commence forth.
it would have also made sense to have put him, like this new Nanami, to have been a red as well. But as a green, he just flat out replaces SP green Nanami because overall his kit is just SP green Nanami, but more and better.
Why wouldn't it be? Just why wouldn't it be? I mean, it's a gacha game. You know what I'm saying? Power creep exists, right? This unit, yes, it replaces the old Nanami, but come on, keep it a beam with me, man. When was the last time you ever used green Nanami? Like, I've taken green Nanami on my fair share of content. In fact, the first video on the channel is a green Nanami showcase. I hated myself the entire time during this video. And then I made even more green Nanami content. I made a green Nanami clear over here. In fact, I'm not even retiring green Nanami yet on the channel. I still have ideas in the future for him. I'm even thinking of doing a remaster of my showcase in the future. But what is the problem with him replacing a day 0 unit? Well, what is the issue with that?
Better. The same way, you know, full power red Yuji was the same as red Yuji. Nimble body red Yuji, but more and better, right? Same with blue Gojo, more and better. And
which is a fair argument. This is the main argument that I agree with. And if you are subscribers on my channel or if you're new, I have made plenty of rant videos complaining about the game, especially my problem with Illusory Tower video, where I specifically state that this game needs a same name update desperately because there are too many units getting hard power cliffed and then you can't apply them to your teams. Well, because of the fact they have the same name. For example, I always brought up in my videos, I'm like, dude, it'd be so much fun if I could run Rampage Yuji and Nimble Body Yuji on the exact same team. Or even running Culling Games Yuji with, you know, the OG Goodwill Yuji. That would also be really fun. But we can't do that. Which is a point that I agree with. If there's anything in the first 2 minutes that I take away from this video, is that them replacing, like flat out replacing old units is a bad thing for the game. But not for the reason that JOSHIN is saying. It's bad because it limits team variety because there is no same name update. There is nothing wrong with a new unit being better than an old unit. One of the main ways you advertise units in a gacha game, which is a live service game that needs to make revenue in order to survive, new things have to be good. New things have to look cool. Nanami looks cool, and Nanami is good. That sells. It's kind of just a simple line of reasoning.
And it's a bad precedent to set that we are just getting replacements of units because it sets the idea that,
cool. Let me just
for example, in this case specifically, why would I even SP, you know, green Nanami, like the release roster green Nanami?
Well, if you haven't SP unlocked them in the first place, then just don't. It's just as simple as that. You quite literally do not gain anything from SP unlocking a unit besides just making them stronger and more usable for difficult content. But if there's another unit that you have, then the other unit is just there for keepsake. You know what I'm saying? Like, gacha games are also collection games. So you're just kind of just collecting cards. And the SP system is a completely optional system in the first place. If you don't want to SP a unit, you don't have to SP a unit, right? I mean, I SP units just for the sake that I just want every unit SP unlocked. And I didn't even SP unlock Nanami because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to SP this guy. This guy's going to be so peak. I SP'd him because I was bored. That's it. I didn't SP him because he was peak. I didn't SP him because it was the great idea at the time. I SP'd him because I was bored. That was it. There's no other benefit. You don't gain cubes from SP unlocking. There's no easy A system like Dokkan. There's not no, like, you get 3,000 cube for SP unlocking. No, it's just there for you to do as a purely optional thing to take a unit you may like to the next level. So I don't understand.
Why would I even SP him now that this Nanami is coming out? Kind of.
And again, to further extend my point, if you haven't SP'd the original Nanami in the first place, why would you even care? And even if you did, this bro's SP came out so long, like, he was one of the first SP. In fact, hold on, whoa. Let's timeline of events real quick. Oh, look at that! I have that thing open on lock. Let's take a scroll together, my dear friends. Can we find like the first run of, was it for first anniversary with the first runs of SPs? Your boy has dementia, so if it takes me too long to find it, I'll just skip forward for y'all to find it with me. But let's find. Yeah, there we go. SP batch 1. He was the first batch of SPs in the big 2025. Okay? In the big 2025, he was the first batch of SPs for JP. And he probably came just like a little bit after for us. In, what is it? For global, it probably released even sooner. But if it took you, because he said he pulled Green Nanami on JP. If it took you a year and a whole month, and you're like, what's the point of SP unlocking a unit? Brother, that is more than 365 days you could have had to use said unit. If you aren't tired of using that bum, I don't know what to tell you.
Makes the SP completely pointless because even with that SP, he's not as good as this current new Nanami. Yes.
Well, yeah, but why would you want a new unit to release and be cheeks? That wouldn't make sense. Like, that's just, like, that'd be just some zap shooting themselves on the foot. I mean, they had back-to-back banger units. Why drop a fraud one now? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're defining power creep at the moment, and I'm not saying that's a good thing. Like, I'm not saying that all the standard units basically being Choso but on steroids is a good thing. Which, when I mean Choso on steroids, I mean just like meta breaker standard units that just kind of pop up. I don't think it's a good thing that they're all meta breakers. But then again, it also opens more options for players in general. So, especially people are like, oh, I miss Toto. They could get Nanami. They're like, oh, like my green team is lacking. They could pull Nanami. Just in general for Jujutsu and Taijutsu content. Oh, I don't have red Nanami. Momo's right there. Even though they don't buff the same thing. Nanami's damage Dell and Momo is a stat buffer. I mean, Momo's still peaking nonetheless. And then, don't even get me started on Urame. Like, Urame can solo clear floor 90 as main DPS. You know what I'm saying? As a standard unit.
Image here yet, but it's clearly supposed to be used along Yuji, more specifically this Yuji, and yet again this Yuji follows the framework of replacing the previous SP Yuji. Another example of why should I SP Green Yuji from the base roster when I'm going to get this unit, and it's even worse with this.
Okay, and that is the same argument but copy and pasted. And again, this argument is only applicable to new players, and even on my channel. Like, I bring it up when people ask me about calling games Yuji, and they're like, oh, should I max out OG Yuji? And I'm just like, if you want to wait for the new calling games Yuji to come out because he is the better unit, even at A0, then yeah, just wait it out. Just thug it out. But for players like me, and players from my audience, for example, that are day one players, or like they started during half anniversary, or they started during the hidden inventory event, like the first one, this argument just seems very off because, again, you've had more than enough time to get the full benefit out of these units, right? Again, Green Yuji didn't come out, well, not Green. Culling Games Yuji ain't come out. We still cleared the floor 88, which is the hardest Green Taijutsu content in the game. Yuji and Toto, the main duo. So even though, like, Culling Games Yuji is phenomenal, you could just get, like, your full merit out of the OG Green Yuji. And if you haven't, I mean, sucks to suck, I guess. But this argument feels more applicable to new players than they are like veteran players. And from what I can tell, when I looked over Joshin's channel, he's been playing the game for a long time, or at least been covering the game for a long time. So I can't imagine why this sentiment even matters unless he's talking about the game needing a same name update, which he hasn't brought up.
This guy, because you're going to get him for free on global in like a couple weeks, if not a little bit longer. If you have like green resources and you're thinking about whether or not you should SP green Yuji, like the base roster one, don't, because you're going to get this guy relatively soon, and he's one of the best green units in the game. He is objectively better than the SP green Yuji. Same way with...
I mean, that's another fact that he saw. I got to give him his flowers whenever he says something based. You can't always be a negative Nancy.
This Nanami and SP green Nanami. This new one is objectively better and flat out replaces him. So there's no point in SPing either of them now.
But then again, there was almost no point in SP unlocking OG Nanami either, because again, using the same argument that he applied to 0.2 Gojo and half Annie Gojo, right, which is like 2 units of the same, if not similar structure, right, replacing each other, even though I don't agree with that argument's premise. Because, again, with late game content, them being different colors makes that argument completely invalid, right? But with green Yuji and green Nanami, this argument is amplified tenfold, because if you have this Yuji, there's no reason to use this Nanami. Because green Yuji is just better Nanami. The same way how Culling Games Yuji is just a better version of this Yuji is just a superior version of this Nanami. This Nanami is just a bootleg version of this Yuji in the first place, right? This Yuji has crit resist decrease on his skill 3, makes it easier for him to Black Flash. His zone state is better because it recovers 10 CE. He's basically almost always locked in to doing consistent damage. This guy, 5 CE for a Black Flash, 30 CE skill 3, inferior damage. He's ratioed by his superior, which again, he hasn't brought up, which then makes me question how much experience he has with both of these units in question.
Kind of more than redundant, and it's even worse so with the Yuji, to be honest, because you're going to get him for free. So yeah, SP green Yuji is kind of just left in the dust. You could make the argument that sure, you won't pull this guy, but he's going to get added to the standard pool, so if this game keeps on going, you're going to get him eventually anyway. So yeah, again, SP green Nanami left in the dust.
Which is true, he will get added to the standard pool at some point, but that's like so far ahead in the future that, like, I'm gonna just say this, man. You can easily SP unlock a unit with proper resources in just a Sunday if you get lucky enough during sweep. Making it seem like that investing in an SP unit takes like this John Henry, like smashing down, building the railroad tracks type of grind to make happen. It seems very, 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 very off. It's not that hard to do. The getting chaotic Jujutsu crystals, yeah, but if you're dedicated enough to max out a unit, it'll just happen. It will just happen.
It kind of makes the SP system feel kind of stupid at this point.
Why? It feels stupid because new units are going to come out and be better, and the old units will get power cliffed again. I mean, because here's the thing. It's not like the SP system existed because these units were already super duper peak and now they're just making them more peak. These units were falling out of the meta and needed a boost immediately. So you know what the devs did? They gave them an SP and gave them some life support. And the thing is, that life support was so amazing that these SP units lasted an entire year afterwards. These units have been standing 10 toes deep on the most difficult content in the game for basically 2 years straight. Mind you, there are some gacha games, some units will get power cliffed in a month, 2 months, 3 months. Like, not even a full year before they get power cliffed. There is a lot of units in Phantom Parade that came out during day 0 that still stand in the most difficult content in the game. Not being replaced, but the most difficult content in the game they can still stand in. This guy can still stand in the most difficult content in the game because of his SP. If it wasn't for his SP, I wouldn't even blink at this man. I wouldn't even spit at him. And him, I would pretend he didn't even exist. Okay? Like, I mean, even now, we still have units that came like this guy. The floor 90 destroyer right here. A hidden inventory unit from the first celebration is still one of the most valid meta units in the game. No SP, but that's because he is good enough to stand the test of time. These units weren't. They needed that boost, and that boost helped them enough for a significant amount of time where you could have used them on the current most difficult, hardest content in the game. And if you don't have the new green Nanami, then, well, I mean, you can use green Yuji or the Calling Games Yuji, which is an option, right? It is an option, you know? Don't be scared of options.
Because why would I SP a unit if they are going to be replaced a couple months down the line? It's really freaking stupid.
Well, here's the thing. It's not a couple, well, for global, it may be a couple months down the line, but a couple months is a pretty long time. And mind you, one of those units that replaced said unit is a free-to-play unit, first and foremost. Now, again, he also is speaking from a JP perspective, because this is about JP Nanami. He brought up that he pulled Nanami on JP. If that's the case, on the JP side, it hasn't been a couple months. It's been over a year. It's been over 365 days, okay? Now for global, yeah, it might be a little bit cooked, right, to a certain extent. But even then, if you invested those materials, it's not fully a loss, because you can still use those units for the hardest content in the game, just on the off chance that you don't pull the new Nanami, right? So, again, I can see where he's coming from to a certain extent, especially if it's if it is a couple months because it's global. But at the exact same time, because here's the thing, being a paid player for this game can only take you so far when it comes to sweep. Like the Celestial Pass helps a ton. But even me, who I play, I'm a content creator for the game at the moment, but I've been playing the game all the time, beforehand. I've gotten almost every single SP except Blue Toto's maxed out. I have one skill for him missing. Maki and Panda. Everybody else I've acquired. And not all of them were acquired out of necessity. Sometimes I was just bored and I wanted to use the unit's SP just because I could. Blue Megamis, that wasn't a necessity. I did it just because I wanted to. Blue Jogo, I didn't need it. I just wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Like who else? Like Green Nanami? I did it as a joke. You know what I'm saying? So just commence forward.
But okay. And the weirdest thing about this to me, another thing of note to make about this unit, and it's yet again similar to Blue Gojo when he came out, we know there's another unit for that character on the way. When I talked about it with Blue Gojo, I said the fact that when JJK 0 comes back around, we are going to get a JJK 0 Gojo. It's like, he is the only character in the JJK 0 memory that doesn't have a unit. So he's gonna get a unit whenever JJK 0 comes back around. So there's another Gojo on the way already, right? And with Nanami, we haven't gotten a prison Nanami yet. This isn't prison Nanami. This is from an event. Prison Nanami uses a knife and he has the collar on and stuff. This isn't a prison Nanami. This is a Nanami from an event that is based on Nanami from the Dagon fight. That's why his hair's all down and he's got no glasses, because it's from the Dagon fight, okay? That's what they kind of modeled his design after. So that makes sense. But that also means there's another Nanami coming out after this. Probably not sometime soon. It'll probably be
This is just how gacha games work. This is just how they work. You have a character, they have multiple states that occur in the game. They're going to get units for those respective states. Now, if those states are being pumped out too quickly is a different argument, but just don't be surprised that one of the most popular characters in the entire series is getting a lot of love. He prints a lot of money, therefore he's getting a lot of units. The same way how when the devs make Gojo units and they print them out like nothing, it's because they are guaranteed money makers.
In a couple months, but there is another one on the way, which, yet again, it's another dupe of another character, and the next Nanami after this one will replace another Nanami, probably Blue Nanami, and it's so stupid, dude. It's genuinely.
And here's the thing, I'm not sure if he's going to bring it up later in the video, but complaining about it and then not giving a potential resolution is another thing. If he were to bring up, I wouldn't be complaining as much if he brought up his claim and he just summed it up as TLDR, we need a same name update. Clap it up. Oh my gosh, you're so based. I wouldn't even care about the rest of the video. I would close my eyes, turn around, do my little happy dance, and then go back to making 0.2 Gojo videos, which is what I wanted to do. but this has compelled me.
So I've been busy or whatever, but this unit in particular, he's on the standard pool. He'll join the standard pool eventually, and he's better than, like, that's the annoying thing. He's on the standard pool, and he flat out is better than green, you know, SP Nanami. Now think about that.
You want to know who else was in the standard pool and just flat out better than green SP Nanami? We're just going to keep going back into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just going to keep going back. And on top of that, why are you so forced on green SP Nanami? I'm so lost. What is going on? Like, I've been, like, watching, like, okay, because I'm probably going to cut this out in the video, but he was genuinely just talking about the new green Nanami's kit. He's like, he's just going to replace the green SP Nanami. What has green SP Nanami done for you in this economy? Like, I'm telling you, there's got to be some Billy shenanigans going on. Am I missing something? What? You know what I'm saying? I'm so lost. Like, there was already units better than green Nanami. Green Nanami wasn't a pillar of green taijutsu ever. Like, when green Yuji existed day one. I don't get it.
Think like in a couple months' time, when both of those are on the standard pool at once, you're going to be annoyed every time you pull green SP Nanami. You might, like, people probably get annoyed when they pull him now because SP Yuji, like green SP Yuji is better than him, and he's still going to become very relevant very quickly.
And you know what? If that was said at the beginning of the video, I wouldn't have went on so many tangents about green Yuji. But I will give him his flowers. He did acknowledge that green Yuji is the better unit. Hey man, sometimes when we make videos on like the flow state, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't think about things until right near like the tail end of the video. So I understand it. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that 100%. But yeah, I'm glad that he acknowledges that, like, yes, green unit is, I mean, not green unit, green Yuji is the flat out replacement for green Nanami. So based for that. But on top of that, I also do understand the sentiment that, you know, people are going to get upset if they pull that original SP Nanami. I mean, I get upset when I pull original SP Nanami to this day, just because he exists. You know what I'm saying? That's a fair argument. I'm not going to disagree with that at all. Like, trust me, I get rage baited when I see him now, let alone when, like, the new green Nanami comes to standard banner in however long that will take, like, probably another year and some change. Oh, yeah. That is, it's a fair point. I'll get rage baited by that, too.
Pulling games usually comes out for free. So imagine when you get, like, so there's, like, a pecking order, right? So it'll be, like, on the standard pool, you'd have, like, SP Nanami, SP Yuji, this Nanami, right? So if you pull green SP Yuji, who's at the bottom, you're just going to get just annoyed at him. He's just, you know, fodder to turn into more dupe stones or whatever. Overall, to make it more concise, the TLDR of this entire video is, the reason I specifically hate this Nanami is because he flat out replaces another unit. He is...
Jay, it's post-commentary story. For some reason, the audio during this portion of the video got super duper messed up, so I'll just clarify my point in a more clear audio. It's going to happen. Units in gacha games get power cliffed. It happens. It's inevitable. You can't ignore it. It happens already in this game. It happens a lot of times in other gacha games. Units have their lifespan and then they die. It just happens. If this is a complaint that you have that's not even exclusive to Phantom Parade, it just transcends Phantom Parade. It's a gacha game issue. You can hate the issue because it's a gacha game issue, but I feel like Phantom Parade specifically, again, unless you're going to give the solution of a same name update, it doesn't have much merit. But real commentary me back now. Like, reconstructing his argument to fit my own narrative. I am taking what he's saying, and I'm not giving him, like, any extra benefit of the doubt. I'm taking the argument face value. He is upset that there is a unit that is just better. I don't get it, because you can make that argument about so many other characters. I'm not sure about back in the day when Hijo came out, but was he upset that Hijo completely made Hollow Purple Gojo irrelevant? You know what I'm saying? Was he upset about that by any chance? Like, what other units can you even bring this, like, argument up for to a certain extent? Because I feel like if you're bringing up units of same typing, like, this is starting to happen now because the game is starting to get overly inflated. Like, Rampage Yuji and Nimble Yuji, that is also happening. Which I feel like can be solved by a same name update, not by just saying, oh, why are the new units better? If new unit wasn't better, you would just make another video complaining that new unit is buns. So it's weird because you can't win with nobody. It's either New unit is buns, we complain. New unit replaces old unit, we complain. And then there's me in the corner, and I'm just like, I want a same name update so I can use the buns unit and the peak unit on the exact same team and punch some bosses in the face with it. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So, that's me.
A unit for a character that already has multiple units. There's a Nanami for each typing, plus an extra T Nanami, right? So this is, I think, the 6th overall, because we have SSR red, yellow, green, SR red, SSR T Nanami, and now this one on top. So yeah, he is the 6th. And yet, like, we just got an introduction to all the prison stuff, yet I don't think we've gotten any actual prison units yet. I'm pretty sure the Momo we got, the red Momo, is modelled after the one at the end of Shibuya, and this Nanami is from the Dagon fight, so, you know, that fight in Shibuya. So technically, we're still getting standard units from Shibuya. There's probably, like, Kenjaku and stuff on the way still, right? Like,
Which is a fair argument to have. I will say that, you know, being upset that Nanami has so many units is a fair sentiment, because there is a lot of JJK characters in the game. But counter argument, Nanami makes a lot of money. Probably. That's probably why they do it. Nanami probably makes a lot of money. Therefore, Nanami units get hit into the money printer. It's kind of like, shout out to my DeTruth fans, where like DeTruth be beefing with OG Dragon Ball fans, where it's like, yes, OG Dragon Ball would be cool to have a celebration, but OG Dragon Ball doesn't sell. Simple as that. Gacha games do what the money says. When the money's rolling, they keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? It's just how, it's the name of the game, man. It's the name of the game. Simple as that.
it makes sense, but we just got prison stuff, yet there's no prison units, and this culling game stuff, it still seems so far over the horizon, even though people...
Which is fair. Calling game stuff does seem very far away, but I also will just supply a counter and be like, we're still missing a lot of Shibuya content. Like, I feel like we're missing way too much Shibuya stuff. Even then, we still have, like, I feel like personally for me, we need an updated Muda. I feel like Green Muda, he doesn't, I want to see him in the modern format, that's all, for example. And we also don't have 0.2 second domain Mahito, for example. We don't have Kenjaku. We got Urame, so I feel like Kenjaku is going to be right around the corner. You know what I'm saying? They could even make, because listen, y'all are going to be like, oh, bro, there's not enough content to make one. Dude, they're making what if units in the cut. They could give us a Yuki. That's all. There's still a lot of Shibuya stuff we can go for. And I feel like JJK is way too short of a series to just jump arc to arc to arc at random, like, increments. Like, the game is definitely going by a theme to theme basis, and we're still in this in-betweener Shibuya culling games, little shenanigans going on. That's all.
People are really hyped. Like, the Higuruma episode just come out, and we're probably not going to get a Higuruma for months on months on months, which is really annoying. But yeah.
I can't wait for my goat Higuruma. When Higuruma drops, ooh, huh. I'm not even going to finish the sentence in my head.
This is just a kind of yap rant video, but yeah. Let me know your guys' thoughts.
Oh, I already let you know my thoughts. This is also my rap and yam video. Dap me up, twin. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Hey.
On this unit.
You feel me?
I know he's going to be fun. I know he's going to be strong. That's not the point I'm making, right? His kit seems broken and cool. It has counterattacks, and it's, you know, whether or not the team gets buffs is based on his cast energy, which is a cool gimmick, you know, and it makes sense for an anime. That's that's cool or whatever. But we already have 5 of them, okay, and we still don't have a Kenjaku. But yeah,
fair enough. That last point is fair. Okay. I feel like I've talked about the video enough as it is. I have no idea how long I've been recording, but I hope if JOSHIN does watch this video, I doubt he will. No hard feelings. Your boy is also just very passionate about Phantom Parade. I mean, I've been daily uploading about the game for the past 2 months straight. I've been playing the game since day one. I be playing on the hardest content in the game. I spend a lot of money on the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm very passionate about the game equally, which is why I feel like, you know, you yourself as another larger creator in the space, you know, sometimes people need to have a dialogue about your arguments, because you never know how far your videos in specific will reach, and that will also impact other communities like myself. Like, you know, even like other big content creators, they give their takes, and then it rolls back onto me, and it feels like I'm like clashing with people's audience with arguments that aren't founded on their own. They're founded by the creator themselves that they're taking inspiration from, so they're not thinking. So I'm just here to give my own 2 cents, because mind you, the first 2 minutes of the video blew my mind when I saw it. I was like, okay. But I see both sides of your argument. The argument along the side of too many Nanamis, which is fair. The argument along the side of you don't like units being replaced, which is fair. But I feel like the resolution you gave was non-existent. You didn't say like same name update at all. Like, it's just, I don't like new unit because new unit too strong, old unit now bad. When old unit in question was always pretty bad. You know what I'm saying? So no hard feelings on my end. If you want to like tear my head off for this reaction video, go ahead. We can recreate Shinjuku Showdown right here. I'm just kidding. But thank you all for watching. If you did watch the video, do not send hate to JOSHIN on my name. Do not. Don't go in his comments. Don't body slam him. Don't be like get wrecked nerd. Don't be talking crazy. We're gonna do the exact same we did for X Ninja's video back in the day. If you have a problem with JOSHIN's video, use clear-cut, cohesive arguments. You know, understand his premise. You know, take a hold of what he's actually saying. Don't just, if you are watching this video and understanding my argument, don't just take my arguments and copy and paste it. Watch his video for yourself. Think for yourself. The one thing that I respect the most about my audience is that a lot of you guys aren't afraid to think for yourself. You don't use me as just like the blanket for all of your takes, which I respect a lot out of a lot of you. So I would hope you give the same credence to Josh. So thank you guys for watching. It's been Jay, aka It's Ghost Story, and I will see you guys later.